There is a very specific kind of tiredness that no one prepares a woman for, the kind that doesn't come from doing too much in a single day, but from carrying herself for years without noticing how much strength she has been quietly spending just to stay functional, calm, and composed. It's the tiredness of waking up and already feeling behind on your own emotional needs, of moving through your routines knowing exactly what to do, yet feeling less and less connected to why you are doing any of it, and wondering, sometimes in silence, when your inner strength became something you had to force instead of something you could lean on. Let me ask you something, and don't answer quickly, because this question isn't meant for your mind, it's meant for that quieter place inside you. When was the last time you felt emotionally steady without having to push yourself to feel that way? Because what many women don't realize is that inner strength doesn't usually disappear in dramatic moments, it fades in the small, ordinary ones. The moments where you ignore your own signals because it feels easier to keep going than to slow down and listen. You might recognize this if you find yourself feeling oddly overwhelmed by simple things, like a small corner of your home that feels messy and heavy even though you know it wouldn't take much effort to fix, or the way your breath feels shallow at the end of the day without any clear reason, or how you keep telling yourself that you're fine while secretly feeling like something inside you is asking for attention and never quite receiving it. And here is where I want you to stay with me, because this is not a story about discipline, motivation, or fixing yourself. It's about understanding why so many women lose access to their inner strength not because they are weak, but because they have been trying to restore it in ways that exhaust them even more. Think about how often advice sounds like effort, like pushing harder, doing more, becoming more consistent, more productive, more controlled. And notice how rarely anyone talks about restoring strength through gentleness, through small emotional adjustments that don't scare your nervous system or demand that you become someone else overnight. In Japanese wisdom, there is a quiet understanding that strength is not rebuilt through force, but through alignment, and that a woman's mind and heart respond very differently to pressure than they do to consistency and care. But before I explain that, let me ask you something else, because this might feel uncomfortably familiar. Have you ever tried to change something about yourself? A habit, a routine, a way of reacting, only to feel exhausted before you even saw results, and then blamed yourself for not being strong enough to keep going? What almost no one tells women is that constant self-correction slowly drains inner strength, especially when it's done without emotional support, without meaning, and without small moments of relief woven into daily life. Many women reach their 40s, 50s, or 60s having survived so much, having adapted, cared, endured, and shown up in ways that demanded resilience, and yet they feel less strong inside than they did years ago, not because life defeated them, but because they were never taught how to replenish themselves in quiet, sustainable ways. This is where the Japanese idea of Kaizen becomes something deeply feminine, not a productivity method, but a gentle permission to rebuild from the smallest possible place, without shame and without urgency. Kaizen doesn't ask you to change your life, it asks you to change one small interaction with yourself, one moment in your day where instead of pushing through discomfort, you soften just enough to create emotional space. For some women, that looks like intentionally tidying one small corner of the house, not because it needs to be perfect, but because order in a small space can bring calm to an overstimulated mind, and that calm quietly restores strength without effort. For others, it looks like breathing with intention for a few moments before responding to someone else's needs, allowing the body to feel safe instead of rushed, which over time teaches your nervous system that you are not constantly under demand. And for many women, it shows up as a simple ritual, something almost invisible to others, like lighting a candle at the same time each evening, or sitting in the same chair with a warm drink and letting that moment belong only to you, not as a luxury, but as emotional maintenance. Let me pause here and ask you directly, because this matters. Do you give yourself even one small moment a day that feels emotionally supportive, or has your strength been built entirely on endurance? If you're comfortable, I want you to share in the comments what small thing currently feels hardest for you to do, not because it's difficult, but because you feel too drained to begin. since naming it already starts changing your relationship with it. Now, there is another layer to this, one that explains why these micro-habits work so powerfully for women, and it has to do with something the Japanese call kokoro, the inseparable connection between mind and heart. When a woman's kokoro is unsettled, when emotions are ignored or rushed past, her inner strength doesn't collapse, it becomes brittle, and brittle strength feels like constant tension, like holding yourself together instead of feeling held. Small rituals of clarity, like pausing to ask yourself what emotion you are carrying before moving on with your day, or gently acknowledging what you feel without trying to fix it, stabilize the kokoro, and when that happens, strength returns naturally, without effort. This is why extreme routines don't last, but gentle ones do, because they don't trigger resistance, they don't demand perfection, and they don't exhaust the heart. And here is something important that I don't want you to miss. When strength is rebuilt this way, it doesn't feel dramatic, it feels quiet, almost invisible, until one day you realize that you're responding differently, breathing differently, and moving through your day with less internal friction. You don't wake up transformed, but you wake up steadier, and steadiness is the foundation of real inner strength. What's coming next is the part most women have never been shown, the reason why these small actions change identity over time, and why inner strength becomes something you embody rather than chase. But that shift only makes sense once you understand how meaning and emotional nourishment replace self-pressure entirely. What most women don't realize is that inner strength doesn't return because you decide to be stronger. It returns when your life begins to make emotional sense again, even in the smallest ways, because meaning is what quietly replaces exhaustion. This is where so many women misunderstand themselves, believing they lack discipline, when what they actually lack is a reason that feels gentle enough to stay with them, something that nourishes instead of demands. In Japanese wisdom, this is where ikigai enters, not as a grand purpose you must discover, but as a soft thread of meaning woven into ordinary moments, the kind that makes life feel worth inhabiting rather than surviving. Ikigai, for a woman, is rarely about achievement, recognition, or proving anything to anyone. It's about feeling emotionally alive, emotionally present, and emotionally at home within herself, especially after years of prioritizing everyone else. Let me ask you something personal, and you don't have to answer out loud, but notice what comes up inside you when you hear it. When do you feel most like yourself, even if it only lasts a few minutes? Because that feeling, however subtle, is not random, it's a clue, and when women ignore that clue for too long, their inner strength slowly turns into endurance instead of vitality. Many habits that drain a woman's strength are not bad habits, they are substitutes for meaning, ways to cope with emptiness, loneliness, or emotional overload without having to face it directly. Scrolling late into the night often isn't about distraction, it's about avoiding silence that feels too heavy. Overeating often isn't about food, it's about comfort that feels missing elsewhere. Staying constantly busy often isn't about productivity, it's about avoiding the question of what you truly want now. And here is the quiet shift that changes everything. When meaning returns, even in small doses, these habits loosen their grip without force. A woman doesn't stop doing what comforts her by taking comfort away. She stops when her life begins to comfort her back. This is why micro-habits work so deeply on the feminine psyche, because they don't attack the habit, they nourish the need beneath it, and nourishment restores strength far more effectively than control ever could. Now, I want you to imagine this for a moment, not as an idea, but as a lived experience. Imagine ending your day not by collapsing into distraction, but by performing a small ritual that signals safety to your nervous system, something as simple as washing your hands slowly, breathing intentionally, or arranging one small space before bed, not to be productive, but to feel settled. That moment might look insignificant, but to your inner world, it's a message, and the message says, I am here with you. Over time, those messages accumulate, and something subtle but powerful begins to shift, because your identity starts changing before you consciously notice it. You begin to see yourself not as a woman who is constantly catching up, but as a woman who is allowed to arrive. You begin to act not from pressure, but from alignment, and alignment is what makes strength feel natural again. This is the point where many women suddenly realize they've been harsh with themselves for years without questioning whether harshness was ever the right tool, and when that realization arrives, it's both painful and deeply relieving. If this is resonating with you, I want to gently invite you to stay connected with this space by subscribing, not because you need more information, but because reminders like this help keep you anchored in gentler ways of living, especially when old patterns try to pull you back. Now, there is one last layer of this Japanese approach that ties everything together, and it's the reason these changes don't fade after a few weeks. It's the understanding that the mind and heart are not separate, that your emotional state shapes your habits, and your habits reinforce your emotional state, creating a loop that either drains you or sustains you. When a woman's emotional world is constantly tense, critical, or rushed, her habits mirror that tension. But when her emotional world becomes calmer, more compassionate, her habits soften naturally. This is why rebuilding inner strength is not about fixing behavior. It's about creating emotional harmony, where your thoughts and feelings are no longer at war with each other. A woman who speaks to herself with gentleness doesn't need extreme discipline to care for herself. A woman who feels emotionally safe doesn't need constant distraction to escape her own thoughts. A woman who feels meaningful connection doesn't need to numb herself to get through the day. And this is especially powerful for women in midlife and beyond, because you are not starting from nothing. You are starting from wisdom, from experience, from having seen what force does and what gentleness makes possible. You don't need a dramatic reinvention. You don't need to fix your past. You don't need to become someone else. You need small, consistent signals of care that remind your inner world that it matters now, not someday. So let me bring you back to the question from the beginning, because this is where everything quietly closes. What if your inner strength was never lost, only buried under years of self-pressure and emotional neglect? What if rebuilding it didn't require effort, but permission? Permission to slow down without guilt. Permission to tend to small things. Permission to create rituals that feel nourishing instead of impressive. And what if, starting today, you chose just one microhabit, not to change your life, but to support your heart, trusting that strength grows best where care is consistent? If this message spoke to you, I invite you to share in the comments which small practice you feel drawn to try, because naming it is often the first step toward making it real, and your story might be exactly what another woman needs to feel less alone. Inner strength doesn't return with noise. It returns quietly, gently, patiently, one small act of care at a time. And you, exactly as you are right now, are more than capable of that.